Well, been a little bit since we talked about blue fragrances specifically in a list topic. And with these are 10 I'll never stop recommending. Big fans of these. I love these 10. And it's specific flankers to certain DNAs where there's multiple versions of the fragrance. But these are some of my personal favorites. So what's a blue fragrance? A blue fragrance is versatile, crowd-pleasing, easy to wear, goes with everything. Typically, they perform pretty well. Sometimes they have synthetics that make them more on the aquatic side, the clean, musky side, the fresh side of things. All these things appealing to most. And I've got 10 that, like I said, I'll never stop recommending. So let me go ahead and recommend them to you. Stay tuned. Starting with the YSL Y DNA, Yves Saint Laurent, one of my personal favorite designers, both for my wife for the women's fragrances and for the men's fragrances for both of us. But Y Le Parfum is hands down my favorite in the Y line. While I do have this new profound love and respect for Y EDP Intense, I do think it's probably the best everyday wear of the bunch. This is still the one that speaks to my taste the most because it doesn't shy away from the thing that made me fall in love with the original in the first place, and that is the bright aldehydes that the original formula EDT had. You still get in the Le Parfum. It smells like a higher oil concentration version of the original, a true parfum flanker. You get that slight citric smell, a little bit of fruitiness, crisp and spicy ginger, a little creamy. It's spicy, it's clean and musky. It's all the elements of what makes the DNA really good. It's not as chemically synthetic and sharp as the EDT. It's not as sweet as the Eau de Parfum. It's just fantastic. That is so good. You can wear it year-round. Sure, it's a little heavier than the others. Maybe it's not the best choice in the summer. You can still wear it in the summer. You can wear this one year-round. Even in high heat humidity, it'll be fine. Just don't overspray it, and you won't choke yourself out or go completely nose blind to it. You know what I mean? But this is always my main recommendation from this particular line because it's my personal favorite. Again, that's from Yves Saint Laurent. This is Y Le Parfum. Now, if you want a blue fragrance with performance that doesn't smell like everything else, have I got a treat for you? It's Mancera's Aqua Wood. Highly versatile, citruses and pear, so it's fresh, citric, and fruity without being super sweet. It's ambery and smoky and aquatic while having just the right amount of spice from some ginger. The rose here, I don't even really smell it because they use rose a lot in Mancera, so that turns some people off. I don't really pick it up here. It's kind of drowned out by all the rest of the notes, really. I'm such a fan of this one. It is aquatic. It is woodsy. It's named appropriately. The color bottle, sure, definitely a blue fragrance. This is one of those fragrances that, some of you have heard me say this before, when it comes to Mancera, there's this little pile of like Swiss Army knife, hyper versatile fragrances that are my favorites from the brand. The ones that I like to talk about the most and or wear the most. This is one of those fragrances. Aqua Wood, highly versatile, beautiful blue, just like the name and color indicates, with kind of its own unique character, and it performs really well. I don't know what else to ask for, honestly. And it's Mancera's Aqua Wood. Fresh, citric, very aquatic and green, woodsy, performs great, doesn't get talked about much. It is Tom Ford's Costa Azzurra. This is the Eau de Parfum from the Signature line. I do love the Parfum. I do love the EDT Aqua flanker. They're all good, but if I had to pick the best of the bunch for versatility and ease of use, it's the original. It's the Eau de Parfum. The lemon here is sharp. The aquatic tones are a little on the salty side. It's fresh and green from some cypress. The oak here gives a different, unique, woody character that you don't get in most blue fragrances. It's very much a marine fragrance that has kind of some class to it. I'm not sitting here saying it's classy because it's some crazy high quality. Sure, it's got the synthetic smell to it, as most designers do, but this is such a guilty pleasure blue fragrance of mine. It is so good, so underrated, and so underappreciated, in my opinion. More people should give this one a chance. Thing is, for a blue fragrance, for a designer blue at that, a 50 ml like this, you're paying over $100. It's on the pricey side, I get it, but if you just give it a chance, maybe you go to Sephora and they have testers. You spray it on skin, you go walk around and wear it. You might end up falling in love with this fragrance and saying, damn it, I didn't want to spend $140 on 100 ml or whatever, $150, whatever they're going for from discounters now. but I gotta have it. It's too good. I enjoy wearing it too much. It works. Man, my girl loves how it smells. It's got some class and professionalism to it, but still a true blue fragrance. That's pretty much the best way I could describe Costa Azzurra Eau de Parfum. It checks all the boxes when it comes to blues. It's, in many ways, almost a perfect blue. Not quite, but almost. And that's Tom Ford's Costa Azzurra Eau de Parfum. Speaking of blue fragrances that are almost perfect, and I got a few of those that I would say that about in this video, Polo Blue Parfum is almost perfect when it comes to blues. This is professional. This is that blue fragrance you could wear with a suit if you want to, because it's got these darker elements like frankincense, which I'm such a sucker for. It's warm, woodsy, dark, and smoky resinous while still being fresh, aquatic, and citric, and smells like the original. Smells like a darker, richer, smoother version of Polo Blue Eau de Toilette, the beloved all-time great when it comes to fresh blue fragrances. Now look, it's not some powerhouse. I get pretty good longevity out of it. I get 8 hours pretty much every time I wear it. But it's not loud. It's not. It smells like Polo Blue. God. Every time I smell it, I'm like, God, I'm so glad they kept true to the original. It's flankered correctly. They added some things, but I think they added it for the better. It's not a true, just higher oil concentration than the original. There's darker elements that kind of separate and honestly make it the best one in the bunch. To me, it's the best one in the bunch. You may not agree. Everybody's got their favorite, but it's almost a perfect blue in my opinion. I'll never stop recommending it. Ralph Lauren, Polo Blue Parfum. Honestly, if I was to stop recommending this, I think people would think something's wrong. Because this is one of the fragrances most synonymous with me. It's Salvatore Ferragamo Aqua Essenziali Blue. I'll never not love this fragrance. I'll never tell you guys that it's not worth checking out. Because for a blue, it walks its own path. Sure, it'll remind you a little bit of Dylan Blue. It might even remind you a little bit of Bleu de Chanel in the opening, but it does its own thing. It's a powdery tonka bean, lavender heavy fragrance with some cypriol oil that kind of ground it and give it an earthy tone with some woods. Not too heavy on ambroxan, not too heavy on sweet, but it's a powdery blue. You don't see a lot of them that are powdery. Not super sweet either, like the tonka's not overdone here. It can be in some fragrances. And it performs really well. It's still affordable in the $40 range for 100 ml. It's more expensive than it was a few years ago, but it's still not expensive. It's still sub $50 for a big bottle of it. 50 mLs like this, $30-ish. It's a great bargain still, and one that I would still encourage you check out. If you want something different, you like lavender and tonka together, because you get aromatic, a little soapy, you get powdery and a little sweet. And then you have these elements that ground it and kind of take it out the territory of being too much of one of those other things. Because too much lavender, too much for some, it's cloying. Too much tonka bean, too much for some, it's too sweet and powdery. Here you get the balance with cypriol and woods. They really ground the scent. This is beautiful, and I'll never stop recommending it. It's Salvatore Ferragamo Aqua Essenziali Blue. Now this one I haven't had for a very long time, but I do prefer it to Sauvage EDT. I think it takes everything that's great about that fragrance and adds tropical fruity elements like mango, for example, and I believe there's some apple that adds to that fruitiness. It's Gisada Ambassador. Gisada Ambassador is fan-damn-tastic. It has that metallic smell, lavender heavy. I don't believe it's ambroxan, but lavender sometimes comes across that way in certain fragrances. I think of fragrances like Mercedes-Benz Man Blue smells like Sauvage, but it's lavender. Same here. And it performs great. It literally smells like they took Sauvage and blended some fruity notes into it more. And they got Gisada Ambassador. It's so good. It is so good. Man, that smells amazing. Don't just listen to me. Don't just listen to the opposite side of it from random comments and reviews on the internet. Try this one some kind of way. Get a decant, get a sample, something. If you like blue fragrances, you like fruity fragrances, mix it together. It's a fruity blue. It's fantastic if you like the style. If you like anything about Sauvage, you're destined to like this. And now that I have it, now that I enjoy it, I'll continue to recommend it over Sauvage EDT. Even though I still love Sauvage EDT, I prefer this. It's Gisada Ambassador. A fragrance that I did not like at first. I didn't like it the second time. I didn't like it the third. I started to kind of like it the fourth time. The fifth time, I was like, holy crap, I was wrong. This is amazing. I've been in love with it ever since. It's Versace Dylan Blue. I can't talk blues without talking about one of the best ever created. This is, in my opinion, one of the best blue fragrances to come out. I don't know if it can be replaced. I would love to get a Parfum flanker Versace, an Elixir flanker Versace. You could jump on that trend. Give me a trend concentration flanker of some sort of this. I would love to see a flanker of Dylan Blue. Now, will you top Dylan Blue? I don't know. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. But Dylan Blue will always have a place when it comes to blue fragrance recommendations for me, because it's a do-it-all. Admittedly, I did not like it first, like I explained. It took me a handful of wearings to even start to appreciate it, let alone love it, and want to recommend it to you guys. It's kind of a must-try blue, because it's got the shower gel feel. It's a little smoky. It's got this amberwood smell, warm and woody, while still being aquatic and citric and rich. You go nose blind to it, you'll think it's weak, but others around you smell it. It gets a lot of compliments for a lot of different people, including myself. I don't know how you can't like this one. Now look, I know how you can not like something at first, and sometimes you got to spend more time with it. That goes for more than just this fragrance. It goes for a lot of fragrances. But I use this as an example many, many times over the years for people that you never know. Don't just judge a fragrance one time. Give it a chance, because you might end up absolutely adoring it and wanting to recommend it to people over and over. Exhibit A, Versace Dylan Blue. Almost perfect blue. We're back to that phrase. In my opinion, the king of the blue. This is exactly why I need Bleu de Chanel Elixir Chanel. This is exactly why, because the Parfum is just so good. I would love to see what your trend Elixir flanker of this would be, because Dior killed it with Sauvage Elixir, and the list goes on. I'm not even going to bother trying to list them all. The Elixir flankers are phenomenal. This is the best Parfum flanker blue, in my opinion, to my taste. Citrus zest at the top, warm wood resinous, sensual, professional, smooth, even gentlemanly for a synthetic blue. Isoe Super Cashmere Wood. Synthetics. Amazing fragrance. Great performance. Underappreciated for how it performs, because it's not loud, but it lasts a really long time and it's consistent. Incredible. Almost perfect. To me, the best blue. The best. And the only one I think that could top it would be an Elixir flanker of it. Chanel. If anybody from their marketing or PR or influencer marketing, whatever, sees this. I've been talking about it for 2 years now. This is so good. I would love to see what you would do with Bleu de Chanel Elixir. Please give us Bleu de Chanel Elixir. But for the time being, until further notice, this is the king of the blue fragrance mountain to me. Bleu de Chanel Parfum. Now, from time to time when I talk about this being blue, I get argued with, but it's base DNA, very blue. One of the most known blues, one of the most sold blues. We're talking about Sauvage here, but this is Dior Sauvage Parfum. You see the trend of me loving these Parfum flankers? This is a big 200 milliliter bottle. Now, I get the argument for why some may say it's not. So it still smells like shower gel. Still smells like Ambroxan, even though they don't list it. Still a blue fragrance, but it's an evolved blue fragrance because it's smoky, it's a little sweet and resinous, it's woodsy, it's warm, it's smooth, and nose fatigue's a real thing here because it performs incredibly for me, and others will say it's weak, and it's because their nose is wearing out. Oh, bro, it might be a reformulation. It might be a reformulation, but it's not going to get drastically weaker. It's an anosmia, nose blind, nose fatigue, olfactive fatigue. Call it what you want. Your nose is wearing out. Happens to me all the time when I wear it. I love it, though. Man, I love it. This is still my favorite Sauvage. Over the Elixir that I just mentioned killed it. They killed it with. This is my favorite Sauvage. It's incredible. I can't recommend it enough to you guys. Over the years, I've continued to tell you it's my favorite. It's underrated. Please get it on skin and try it for yourself. Go to any fragrance counter that sells Dior Sauvage and spray this one on your skin and go about your business, and then come back and thank me later. You don't even have to really thank me later. Just let me know, holy crap, I gave it a chance. You were right. It's incredible. I just like to hear that because I like to know that I'm not the only one that enjoys it. I know I'm not the only one that appreciates it, that makes content. But it's that damn good, and I'll continue to recommend it to you guys. Dior Sauvage Parfum. Now, I would be remiss to not feature this. Now, look, it's not easy to get anymore. It's discontinued, I believe, at this point. I have more than one bottle. It is one of my favorite fragrances of all time. For years, I said it was my favorite. It still kind of is. But I don't keep it in my top 5 because it's the obvious. I've been saying for years it's my favorite fragrance. And some people just don't understand it. But hey, we like what we like. It's Invictus Aqua 2018 from Paco Rabanne. Not easy to get anymore. And even though it's not easy to get, I'm still going to recommend, if you can get it for a decent price, you like light blue fresh aquatics, my favorite one ever. Ever, all time. Puts a smile on my face. Incredible stuff. Citric, fresh and airy, saltwater, aquatic, clean musk, soft and woodsy, powdery light blue aquatic. You don't get that often. I don't find anyways. I like this more than the 2016 that got all the love and still gets all the love to this day. I like this more. And I get really good performance. 6 to 8 hour range of longevity. Loud for a solid hour and a half. Puts a smile on my face. I've gotten more compliments from this fragrance than any other fragrance ever. It's not my first bottle. It's my second tester. I do have a 50 ml backup that's God knows when I'll touch that, but I love it. I have to have sprays of it. Every summer I like to wear it. I only wear it in the summer. It's a special fragrance to me. And once again, I know it's a little much to recommend something that's not easy to get and I believe to be discontinued. Prices are higher on, but if you can find it for a good price and you like said style, that light blue fresh aquatic type of style, in my opinion, it's one of the best, well, for me, the best one ever made. Might be worth checking out. Again, that's Paco Rabanne's Invictus Aqua 2018. Well, there you have it, folks. That's the 10 blue fragrance that I don't plan on ever stopping talking about, discussing, and recommending that you guys check out. And until next time, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. I do appreciate all the feedback, and I love hearing from you guys. Of these 10, what have you tried? What do you think about them? Are you a fan of them? Some of these not work for you. You maybe don't feel the same way as I do. That's okay. It happens. This is just how I feel about them. That's why I continue to recommend these. That's why these were obvious choices for this topic. And until next time, I will say if you get your hands on any of these 10 and you give them a spray now, you might end up thanking me later. Have a good one, guys.